webinar started, if that's all right by you. So this webinar, hi guys, if you missed this, I'm Daisy from Life's an Adventure. I have a slide on Mark, who's at an eco conference tonight. So he's not going to be joining us tonight, but he's the managing director. And if he was here, he'd say he's got 20 years of guided walking experience. And we've just launched into swimming as well. He's just expanded our business, which is really exciting. He's an avid swimmer, but today we're going to be talking about walks, and I'm joined with Naresh, who, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yes, so hi everybody, welcome to the webinar, and I would like to welcome myself as well to the webinar just to make sure it's fun. I'm Naresh from Himalayan Scenery Treks in Kathmandu. We are based in Kathmandu. So I'm originally British, but I was turned into a Nepali a few years ago because decided to settle in Nepal and run the travel operations in Nepal, and so one of the most beautiful landscapes on earth to the people who would like to visit here. So I've been working mostly in the field of immersive travel experiences in Nepal and Bhutan for 4 continuous years. But the company that I'm associated with as one of the major shareholders right now, we have been in the industry for 20 years, as long as Mark has been there. So we are on the same page. And definitely, like I mentioned, we operate immersive journeys like Lives and Adventure does, like walking. It's just a part of the trip. It's just a part of the adventure. Beyond that, the experiences, the meaning when you try to find in a trip, then I think we are the right people to travel with. So that's what Lives and Adventure does, and that's where we align with Mark on it, and it's really fun. So that's all about me for now, and I'll be talking more about it.
This is just what makes our tour special, which Naresh has touched on. So, Life's an Adventure, if you haven't traveled with us, we do pack-free walking, which Naresh will also tell you about what we do in Nepal, which is different to a few of our other tours. We've got flexible walking options, and we cater to small groups mainly. Maximum, our biggest groups are like about 12. And we always choose the best accommodation, and there's incredible food and wine. But what's not mentioned on here is that our guides are absolutely incredible, and that's our number one pride. They know what they're talking about, and they are extremely experienced. So I'll move on to the actual itinerary of Nepal. So this is the overview.
Well, so this stage for me. Thanks. Anyway, so what we are going to talk about is the Annapurna Trail. So it was called Annapurna Trail, or people would call it Annapurna Luxury Lodge Trek, but we decided to talk it as the Annapurna Heritage Trail because we are not just talking about a walk, rather, we are talking about the exploration of the heritage that's lying beside the major routes in Annapurna, because people would have heard about Annapurna Circuit, Annapurna Base Camp, but our trek is completely different than that, where we don't go to the crowded places. Rather, we actually explore the walks through the villages that are there for years and years, centuries and centuries, and that have preserved the traditions, the culture with the mountains. They have been living the lives with the traditional form of farming, the traditional form of education, the traditional form of survival, and the traditional form of hospitality as well, which is Nepal mostly known for. And so that's what this 7 days in Annapurna Foothills is going to give you. So if you see the highlights over there, it's the major highlight, yes, obviously the helicopter flight to Annapurna Base Camp. We don't let you go into Annapurna and not see the Annapurna right in front of you. So when you fly to Annapurna Base Camp, it's super exhilarating. I think we have the slide at the end as well, what it actually looks like. And then, so when I told you there are quiet Gurung village trails away from the crowds, when you walk on this trail, you are really gonna see other people chasing the destination. You are actually going to be walking through the villages, talking with the locals, dancing with them sometimes, learning from them, hearing their stories, what makes them live in those remote lands. And at the end, obviously, you're going to stay in one of the best lodges, not one of the best lodges actually of the town that you're going to be in. And also, one more thing that I can tell about this particular trek is if you search for a map of this trail, then you are not going to find it even on Google or anywhere else. And that's what makes it more special because people rarely know about it. And we know about it, and we make sure you walk through one of the best places in the Annapurna area itself. Then there are a few more. The cooking classes in Dhampus. So Dhampus is one of the, again, the antique villages. There are cultural performances that you're going to see during your dinner time sometimes, just sometimes meeting the people around. And it's not going to be a staged performance at all. It's the way that the villagers have been living throughout their life at. Then we also travel for purpose. So we are going to visit some local schools that we believe they might get closed in a few years because there are very less people nowadays in the villages and they are leaving the villages. There are no enough children to even run a school sort of places. There are healthcare centers where you're going to learn about how healthcare system works in the rural parts of Nepal. Then you're going to meet some families. That's These are the activities, these are the experiences that make you go deeper into Nepal and understanding it more better way that you're going to remember throughout your life. Then obviously the views, you already saw the first slide how it is going to look like, and every day the views is going to be like that, I can promise you that. Then the total walk, obviously it's 46 kilometers, so ups and downs you can assume up to 46 to 47 kilometers, so that's the major one. And total days you are walking is for 5 days. The last day, the first day is of arrival, that you arrive in Kathmandu, the capital. And the last day is the one that you take the helicopter flight to Annapurna Base Camp and fly back to Kathmandu in a flight. So that's all about the highlights. We can move on to the next slide. Well, this is a lovely day to welcome. So we have made sure that when you arrive, you don't feel left out or just sitting in a hotel. We make sure it's engaging. So the first day you arrive, our guide team will be there at the airport to get you to the hotel. And Dwarika's is the best hotel in Kathmandu. I'll tell you why it's best because where we have a hotel slide as well. Next, I'll tell in that. And you can arrive. So mostly the flights that arrive from Australia are going to come through Singapore or Sri Lanka sometimes. So, and other transits are also there, like Bangkok as well. They fly more often to Kathmandu. You can try that. So, if you are looking to arrive in the morning time, then I suggest you either fly through Sri Lanka or mostly another one will be the Bangkok flight. Singapore usually arrives late in the night. So, it might be somewhat hassle for that for most of the people. And so you have somewhat free time because when you are coming this long, like after that long flight, obviously you'll have some jet lag. So rest during the daytime, and in the evening we have a very lovely dinner you can see in the picture, and it's a complete introduction to Nepal. So when you eat the food, you are going to feel what actually food, how these food are sourced from, the history about how why this is the major food in Nepal, why this is the prime food in Nepal, and alongside the cultural performances will be from around the country, not just one particular place, and that's going to explain a whole history about how storytelling, how the performances are there. So that's about the first day, and we move on to the second day.
There's
So
no
yeah,
more.
okay, yeah, we were still on our first day. I'm sorry. So this day, yeah,
That's all
obviously,
right.
I already explained about it, so you can just skip this. Yep, the hotel I was trying to talk about. So Dwarikas is the best one I told you in Kathmandu. This is because we choose boutique properties. We don't go with the fancy properties like Marriott or stuff. That is because we believe that when you are in a place, then you need to be made sure that you blend into the place. So Dwarikas is the hotel that blends into the architecture of Kathmandu. If you see the rooms, if you see the bed, if you see the designs in the bed and even the bed sheets that you see and the architecture, it is completely designed to preserve the architecture of Kathmandu Valley. So, and it's the five-star hotel, and it has just total of 80 rooms right now. They are not trying to bring in a lot of people into there so that it feels like a crowd. So this is the best boutique hotel in Kathmandu. That's why we have selected this.
It looks amazing.
It is. It is one of the best ones. Yep.
Yeah.
Now, that's the second day when we start the walk, but you don't start the walk directly from Kathmandu. You have a flight to Pokhara. So Pokhara is a lake city. It consists of 7 different lakes, but our major attraction is not the lakes. So the major plan is to fly to Pokhara early morning, and we make sure you get a very lovely packed breakfast from the hotel because we are catching the first flight at 7 a.m. in the morning. Then we fly to Pokhara and then catch a jeep to a starting point, which is roughly 45 minutes of drive. Then you start the walk. So the first few 30 minutes of walk, you are walking through the um, path with sometimes the transport vehicles of not the regular transport vehicles, but a few of those transport vehicles, they transfer goods for the villages that have to be called out, not on regular basis. They have to be on call and then they come out to bring them. So first few 15 to 20 minutes you're going to walk through that part and then enter the trail where you're going to see terraced fields, and you can see the suspension bridge that Vicky is there. And so you're going to cross through one suspension bridge today. You're going to walk through the village trails you can see. You'll be walking through the first village called Tomijum, which is also called a bee village, where you'll be seeing people how they are working spatially on the bee farming, and also meet some locals. And you will see orange farms and guava farms. I was actually telling Daisy a few minutes ago about how I stole oranges from the locals' farms. And it was fun to do that. It's not like trespassing or stuff. I was just stealing oranges from the sidewalks and just stealing them, looking at the farmer and smiling at him and then telling him sorry for that. So that's how friendly these people in these regions are. They love you guys. And it's a very lovely walk this day. You have an easy trail this day. You don't have any hard kind of uphill walks. You are going mostly gradual downhills and walking through the villages, crossing the Modikula River to reach this. The first image that you see is from the lodge itself, from the terrace right in front of your room. And so you're going to stay in that kind of place. So it's definitely a lovely walk. We can go to the next one.
Yeah,
Yep.
just a quick.
So total of 7.5 to 8 kilometers. That's the total walk. And this is the walk. So this first one that I told you about, you actually meet a trail where there are a few vehicles. So that's how you start, and you see the rivers. So it's really fun to walk through all of these natural trails and the jungles, the river, and then go to a lodge and stay through walking through the villages, meeting locals, and have fun. So it's really cool one. So 3 to roughly up to 4 hours it's going to take. That's the max. And you actually going downhill. So you are going to go at 1150 meters of altitude. So that's all about the first day.
This is
This
where
is
you.
the lodge, yes, that you stay at. And so the theme is basically the lodge again. All of the lodges that you're going to see are actually blended in to the architecture, and the room designs are based on the villages that you are staying at. If you see the fire inside the dining hall, it's in every lodge because that's how the houses are built in that whole area. And the lodge itself is just single floor, and it just has got total of 18 rooms, not more than that. So you'll not be among a lot of number of trekkers, and you'll almost feel like it's a very small group staying there. And here's so the first view already you saw in the first slide. So these are the rooms that you have got, and the rooms are also very nice, very neat. They have a very nice turn down service, which I won't tell about it right now. You need to be there to know how good the turn down service is. So that's all about it.
Amazing.
And all these rooms have private bathrooms, hot shower. So you
Perfect.
have good thing. Now, the third day, you have a very easy, I wouldn't say easy, we had a bit of a conflict last time. Just in talks, we had an
Yeah.
argument. We had a really fun argument that you, you cannot tell a stair to be easy. So remember, stairs. So this day you are mostly walking through these stairs. You wake up around like 6 or 7. If you want to wake up for sunrise, you can, depending on the time that you're coming at. So you can just wake up to the sunrise right in front of the Fistel. You're obviously going to see that. Then post breakfast, you hit the trail. Then you are mostly going uphill today to Ghandruk. So going through, so this is the part where I think a few of you guys have seen the reels where people, the trekkers were dancing with the locals. So this is the day that mostly happens because there are locals who are going walking through the trail alongside you. Not you, it's not just you walking on the trail and then meeting some locals in the village, but people are actually walking alongside you, and you meet them, you talk with them. It's very fun day. You go, exactly, the major tough day, tough thing that happens this day is the stairs. You go up, and then when you reach the villages, when you meet people, you're going to forget you walk through the stairs. So
Would
that's
you
the
say
major.
it's the hardest day of walking?
Yes, it is the hardest day of walking. And in the middle of the walk, you are going to stop in a village called Tamu, meet some locals again. So you, every day you have interaction with locals. That's the major fun thing about this day, not just this, the whole trail. And your lunch is going to be near the same village, but this day you have a flexibility as well, that when you are gonna go end the trail after Tamu village, which is the first picture that you can see. After this, you can walk for 1 or 1.5 more hours. Then you have a flexibility to get on a jeep and then go to Ghandruk directly on a jeep. Then just walk 15 to 20 minutes to the actual lodge. So
Good option to have
that's the
after the stairs.
Yes, get off the stairs, because after that, after the this village I'm talking about, you're gonna go and stop in a lunch place. Then again, the stairs are gonna start. So you can
Yeah,
get
they
off the
never
stairs
stop.
with the flexibility option this day. So that's about the day 3.
We'll move to the walk.
Yep. So you can see the video how the walk is gonna look like. And these are the locals, they welcome you to their villages. And this was not staged at all. We just met this lady and she she entertained us.
They seem so nice.
It definitely is. It's amazing. You walk through forest, villages, mountains, forest, villages, mountains. You have everything every day.
Beautiful. So that's an eight
Yep.
hour walk.
Yes. So this day you will be walking for almost 8 hours. That's the max. You can assume anywhere between 6 to 8 hours, and the total is 10.5 kilometers of walk. And you are gaining altitude. You are gaining 940 meters of altitude, and definitely it's mostly uphill. Mentioned as mentioned, and the steps, the stairs. So remember that. That should be
Okay.
good. And this is the lodge that you are going to stay at this day. And look right in front of you, the view that you showed in me in the first slide, Daisy. So that's a little bit lower than this particular point, the lodge that we are staying at, because the village is just below this hotel. And so this is the lodge that you are going to stay at. And it has got one in the, so you can see from the window, so that is one whole, there are total of 7 rooms over there in that cottage, and the view that is taken from this, there are a total of 3 rooms over there. So this is one of the best lodges throughout this whole trip, and you're going to have the view in front of that, and you're going to have, the next morning you're going to have the breakfast with that view. You can
So
look at us
cool.
there. Yeah, so that guy walking over there, that's me actually.
Is it actually in the little green coat?
Yes, yes, that's me. That's me.
Amazing. That's such an incredible place to have breakfast.
It is, definitely.
Cool.
So Ghandruk village. So I'm going to talk about this village, okay? Like I mentioned, it's one of my favorite villages in the whole country. Why? Because of the women. So, just a little history about it. Uh, I don't know if many of you guys know about Gurkha. So, Gurkha is one of the regiment in the British military that they take the young men from Nepal to fight in their military. And a lot of them, so Ghandruk village is one of those villages that contributes one of the highest numbers to the Gurkhas. And if you see right now, there are very less of the male population in that village. So the whole village is mostly operated by multiple mothers community. So the mothers gather around and then prepare a community that make sure that they perform, they have cultural performances, and then they collect funds from those performances. They go, they promote tourism across the world as well. Even they go to, mostly they actually go to Korea and then Japan because that's the most accessible part for them, and then promote this village to those parts. And these are all, I'm talking about the women. And the stairs, when you start after the lunch, those stairs, those steps, they are actually made from the fund that these women, these mothers collected, and we are contributing to that. So it is one of the best villages to explore. So the next morning post breakfast, you are actually exploring the village, looking at how they are living, and there is a system of homestay as well, which you are going to learn about how homestay culture works in Ghandruk, and you are going to see a museum that preserves all the ancient stuff that used to be like right now. Obviously it's modernized more because they have got enough money, they have got enough fund to collect the modern items from Pokhara, Kathmandu, or outside the country as well. But they have preserved those stuff that they used to use in their ancient times. Their grandparents used to use their ancient times, and that's about their culture. So this village is one of the sweet spot in this whole trail. So first morning you have a visit around this area, and then you are going to walk to Landruk. So when you walk to Landruk, first you are going straight downhill again through the stairs, then straight uphill again through these stairs, but it's a shorter day. So if you see, you're just walking 6.5 kilometers, so roughly 5 to 5.5 hours of walk. And you are actually descending 700 meters and then elevating 350 meters. So it's more of an easy kind of trail, even though straight downhill and straight uphill, but it's a fun one. But this day, you will mostly be seeing the empty villages in some parts because many people have left those areas, abandoned those areas because there is basically this whole Annapurna region was one of the major attractions for tourists. And since people have left the villages for better opportunities, you are not going to see many of them. But when you reach Landruk, the destination, then again, it's not exactly as similar to Ghandruk, but I can call it identical. And it's more into the locality rather than tourism sector like Ghandruk is. It's less commercial than Ghandruk area in tourism. And you're going to find people bitting their millets so that they can brew alcohol from it. So you're going to see people doing that, like ask them, how did they do that? See, how did they do that? Learn from them. And that's how fun it is in Landruk. So that's about this particular day.
So you're staying?
Yes. So you are staying in Mountain Lodges of Nepal. This is the same chain that you stayed on the first day of the walk in Birethanti, the Sanctuary Lodge. And this is the room over there. So you can see these are more bigger rooms because Landruk has got bigger room structure. That village has got bigger room structure. So that's why they have made it. And the major beautiful thing about this is they have got a little bit fancier beds than other parts. It's because people would have felt a little bit uncomfortable sitting in more village style beds, even though that's a brick lodge over there. So they have got a little bit fancy lodge, and it's really lovely. And again, you can see from the garden area what a view you can see in front of you.
And
Of again, Annapurna.
how's the food every night? Is it good?
Yes, I'm going to talk about the food at the end, but Landruk, I'm going to tell you right now, Landruk has the best food
The best? Wow.
among all. Yes, so Landruk has the best one. All of their dinings are big, they are amazing, and you have several options, 3 to 4 options that you have because you are going in a group. So we'll have like several options to choose from, and they are locally sourced foods. So that's the best thing.
Yeah.
You can have Nepali cuisine as well as the Western cuisine at the same time. And all of the meals are going to be three course, and obviously amazing drinks, wine, beer. Nepali beer is amazing. You can try that.
Yeah.
So that's definitely going to be a good thing to do.
Perfect.
Now, the next day, you are going from Landruk to Majhgaon. So, Majhgaon is a village that you will. So, when I told you about not finding this particular trail on the map, so Majhgaon is the actual village that I'm going to talk about. If you search this spelling on Google Map, you're rarely going to find the village on the maps. So that's the part that we are going to get you on. And Mazgaon is very much secluded, very much different than any other parts that you have walked through. And it's very easy day of walk. So you don't have a longer walk at all. And so as usual, you have the similar sort of breakfast in the lodge. Then you are gonna follow the trail, hit the trail. It's not uphill, it's not downhill. It's a very gradual kind of walk, and dirt trails is there. Obviously, you are going to walk through the healthcare centers. You are going to walk through the schools. You can see the image over there where Mark is giving some of the gifts from Australia to them over there, to the school children. And in Mazgaon, actually, it's very near to the lodge, and you are going to walk through these terrace fields as well. So terrace fields are basically a great example of how in these landslide areas how people have found how well this kind of farming works and in those Himalayas. So this is a great way to learn about farming culture over there. And you can obviously look at the view. You are never going to miss those mountains, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And this day, actually, yeah, I'm gonna come to this. So this day, even though you're gonna walk for 12 kilometers for 5 hours, it's super easy. I wouldn't even call it moderate walk. It's very easy. Just the last section of the walk is a little bit uphill because you are escaping the trail and then going through a jungle to the village. So that's the only part. A little bit. That's roughly around 30 minutes of walk to do that, and it's really good because you need some challenge at the end as well, because an easy day is not a good walk, is it? So this day, when you are close to Mazgaon, so when you reach the Mazgaon village, obviously again you are going to see the people working as if you saw in Landruk. And this, among this all, so Landruk has these sorry, Mazgaon has the second biggest school of all. So you're going to go and visit the school, learn how these children are doing, like performing, how they are getting education over there. And after that, you have a visit to a healthcare center where you are going to learn about how healthcare works in the rural parts. It's a very small healthcare center where mostly they give the service of the midwives and some basic medicines. If you have some normal injuries, they don't have big x-ray machines or any sort of big laboratories or anything like that. But all, you'll know how basic the medical care is available there and how people are benefited from it. And right below the healthcare center, you have got your lodge. And this is another second best lodge you're going to stay at. You can move to the next part.
Wow.
Yep. So this is Mazgaon Lodge. Again, it's so Mazgaon has got these smaller rooms, but the taller rooms. So this building is going to have taller rooms, but smaller width kind of rooms. And if you see the dining area as well, so people, so that's, if you see that woman and the man over there, these are their local the costume over there. They wear it so often. You're gonna see it when you cross Ghandruk and then come into Landruk and into Mazgaon. You're gonna see that, and the view obviously it's superbly amazing. And each of these, so lodges are not like, so previously when you saw they were like in a long cottage, but here there are blocks of buildings as if the Mazgaon is defined as, and each block has two different rooms, and then the other people are going to stay in a different block, sorry. And each lodge is made as if in a terrace, so like you saw the terrace farming, so that's how it is, and it's amazing.
Amazing. I'm just going to cut in really quickly. I see that Denise is raising her hand.
Okay.
I'm going to say that you can type your questions in the chat. We currently have you guys on mute until the end, but just try and write down your questions or remember them, and then we can answer all of them. Thanks. We'll move to the next day.
Sure thing. Well, this day, actually, I almost missed one part. So, for everybody else, whoever are going to join us on this trail, you have a very lovely surprise at the end of day 5. All right. So, I'm not going to tell what the surprise is, but remember that you have a very nice surprise on that particular day. Now, moving on to day 6, Majhgaon to Dhampus. It's also another very easy walk. You are walking first, so an easy breakfast again, and you're walking through another village right above Majhgaon. It's called Tanchuk. Again, stone homes and stuff everywhere, like the way that you have seen. And the major attraction this day is the temple that you can see in the first image, because what's there beyond the temples in Nepal, temples and monasteries? Because till now you have not been to one of them, because they are not on the trail. They are a bit different than the trail. But today you'll have the temple right on the trail that you are walking through, and you're going to explore this temple around. There's an etiquette of how to walk even inside the temple, so sort of, and you learn how people, why people go to this temple. It is a very holy temple for the deities of the locals of Tanchuk and Mazgaon. And then you are going to move up and up through the dirt trails. So this day you don't have a lot of stairs, and even though you have a few stairs, that you are going downhill almost close to Dhampus. So that is amazingly about it. You're walking through the forest mostly, and you reach a place called Pothana. And from Pothana again, you have a wider panoramic view. So this view you saw it from is from Dhampus, the end point, and the first. So in the middle of this, there is Pothana, and it is kind of a junction that takes you one to a very different trail called Mardi Himal in Nepal, and which is not of our trail, and one to Dhampus. So you go down from that point, you go downhill to Dhampus. It's a very easy walk going downhill, and Dhampus is more modern because it is closer to the city Pokhara, and the lodge even there that you're going to stay at is also going to feel more modern. That is more connected to Pokhara's landscape. You can obviously, did I miss anything else? Yes. Now the major idea here is the cooking class. So I'll tell you why we put cooking class over here. You're going to learn momo making or any other cuisine. It depends on what time we are over there, definitely. But the first priority is Momo, because Momo, what is Nepal without Momo? That's another question you need to ask yourself. Momo is basically a dumpling filled up with amazing savory kind of meat or sometimes the veggies. And the chef over there is going to teach you how to make momo. First, you're going to source the ingredients, how that ingredient is sourced from around the area, and then learn about why it is made into that dumpling shape and how it is cooked, why it is steamed, and why it is one of the most favorite food, the most common food as snack for most of the Nepalese. You're going to learn about it, and that gives you more intro into the culture of Nepal as well. That's why we kept a cooking class at the end of the trek. And it's really fun
And delicious.
and delicious. Yes, for sure.
That's just the walk again.
Yes. So the 9 kilometer walk, it's like I told, it's super easy for 4.5 to 5 hours. And you don't have a lot of elevations. You're just elevating 540 meters. The first part of the trail, we are going where you are going up and then slowly going gradually down around 200 meters. And again, the first part is stone path. Then you meet the dirt trails. So it's really easy kind of walk to go to Dhampus.
And the accommodation.
Yes, so I already mentioned it's a little bit more modern compared to any other part, but it's still boutique and the best one in Dhampus because it has one of the best foods and the best views, obviously, from any other lodges. And it's again made on the terrace farming style. So you can see the housing structure over there that actually blends into Dhampus structure. So you have a pretty nice day this day to stay at, and your terrace will obviously give you amazing view. And you have the chairs outside and inside, so feel free to stay anywhere you would like, and it's more fun.
Yeah. The last day.
Well, the major highlight. You are flying in a helicopter to Annapurna Base Camp, which is one of the best, I would say, experiences in whole Nepal. See, it's just around 20 to 25 minutes of flight from Dhampus. And the major thing is you're going to have a VIP treatment that the helicopter is going to land right in the lodge's helipad. And what could be better than that? You don't need to go to other helipad to do it. Then you're going to fly from there to Annapurna Base Camp early morning, and from there, like I mentioned, you're going to see the eighth highest mountain in the world. That's Annapurna, and so you're going to be over sitting there for roughly 20 minutes. And before anybody else asks that question, no, you are not going to have altitude sickness at all. Okay, even in that altitude, because you're there for a very short period of time. You're going to go there, the helicopter is going to drop you, you're going to stay there, have capture photos, learn about the mountains, and then the helicopter is going to come pick you up and bring you to Pokhara. So that's the major idea of this particular day. Then you come back to Kathmandu. So this day you catch a flight, another flight from Pokhara Airport. And so from Pokhara Airport, it's a 25 minutes flight as usual. So the first flight that you took, similar. And when you come in Kathmandu, you're going to have a very good celebratory lunch. And if you are staying in Dwarikas again, we are going to transfer you there. If you are staying in some other hotel as of your choice, then we're going to transfer you there. You don't have to worry about transfers. If you have left luggages in Dwarikas and you're moving to other, we are obviously going to get that transfer too. So that's more about it. And even somebody else might want to extend the trip to explore more of Kathmandu. Some people might come earlier than the trip as well, or stay later than the trip as well. There are a lot of places that you can go to. You are free to tell us. So that's all about it.
That's so perfect. Thank you for that. I think the next slide is some of our departure dates. So we have the 23rd of October. We have a few guests on that. So we're hoping to fill that out a bit more. So if you're interested, please let us know and we can jot down your email and our walking experts can give you a call to talk more. We also have the 7th of November, and then for next year, we are still in super early bird special. So that's getting up. If you're a new guest, it's $400 off, and if you've been with us before, it's $500 off. So that will be for the departure date of the 21st of March. And then I'm going to open this up for questions. So I will let you guys talk. It should allow you to now. If you have any questions, feel free to ask Naresh. Maybe I'll start off asking Naresh about the food because he said he'd tell us
Yes.
a bit
Okay.
more
I
about
almost
the
missed
end.
that about the food. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry about
no,
that.
it's all good.
Yep. Okay. So the thing about food is the first day I already told you you're gonna be exploring the prime Nepali food, obviously, and that's basically dal bhat. So the rest of the beyond that, so each day you have multiple options. Like I told you, you'll have Nepali cuisine. So Nepali cuisine can be the similar. You have the dal bhat recipes, obviously, over the dal bhat cuisine, and that's basically the lentils and rice, some veggies, some curries. Then you also have a few Indian options available over there in the lodge. You can definitely choose that. Then another one will be mostly the Western cuisine, sometimes the grilled chicken, grilled fish, or some other sort of things like pizza or pasta sort of things. So these are the foods available. One thing is that. That's basically, I'm talking about the dinner. Now, talking about the lunch, I need to talk about the lunch because most of the days you'll be walking and you will not reach the lodge for the lunch. So most lunches are in the villages that you're going to walk through, and those villages will have local restaurants, the best ones of that particular village, and you will have several and several options from the menu. You are free to choose and free to have the food. So the food is really hygienic, really good, and it Most of the Nepali foods are savory. Even the Western foods, they try to make it more savory. So you will have options, you'll have choices. You can just tell your guide about what you are actually looking for, and they'll just get it done for you. Beyond that, obviously, your yeah, the drinks are included, and nice wine, nice beer, sort of thing. That's during the evening. So this is the major idea about the food. So do you think that that makes more sense, Daisy?
That's amazing. It sounds so good. I wish I'm
Mm-hmm.
going on the next one.
You should. You definitely
No,
should.
yes, I wish. It's definitely on my bucket list. Do any of you guys have any questions?
I'm not sure if you can hear me. This is Margaret.
Yes,
Um,
we can. Hi, Margaret.
okay,
Hi,
wonderful. Hi,
Margaret.
Daisy. I can go. It's so great to be a part of this. It looks like most of the people are wearing pretty warm jackets. And can you describe what the temperatures will be?
Yes, that's a really good one. About the temperature, you are not going in high altitude. So assume anywhere between the morning time temperature is going to be somewhere between 5 degrees centigrade to roughly around 7 degrees centigrade. The early mornings and the evenings are going to be this cold during October, November. And the daytime temperature is going to be somewhere around 10 degrees to 18 degrees centigrade. So you are going to have I suggest you have a down jacket or a fleece jacket for your mornings and the evenings. The daytimes are super warm and you'll be mostly walking. So a fleece jacket would be good, or a windproof would be good, basically for your jacket, but it's not going to be super cold. But on the day that you go to Annapurna Base Camp, obviously you need a good down jacket and a good hiking pants. That's going to be making you more comfortable. But if you are clumsy, about which I find a lot of people are when they go to higher altitudes, I've seen it. So if you are more clumsy on this, so I suggest a fleece jacket which can hold a temperature up to -5 degrees, and a good gloves that can handle the temperature up to this temperature, and a normal hiking trouser would be fine. The rest of the things you can put in your backpack or your, yes, we missed about one thing actually, Daisy. I think I need to tell that. I almost noted it, but missed to tell it. In your duffel bag, which we are going to provide you when you are in Kathmandu, and that's going to go either directly in the helicopter or in the jeep that we are going to transfer it to Kathmandu through the flight as well. Does that answer your question, Margaret?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, that's great. So I was trying to talk about the pack-free walk. So how it is going to be pack-free for these 5, 6 different days is basically you can just carry a backpack for your own, where you can just put on some normal stuff or water that we are going to give you every day. Normal stuff like you, if you need your regular daytime medicine or some chocolates that you want to have in your backpack, and nothing else more than that. You can wear these sunglasses and other stuff, and rest of the things are going to go in a duffel bag, which is going to be of a certain size, which you will have in your travel resource that you're going to get. And that duffel bag is going to be carried by the porters. You are going to have porters, human porters, in your trip. We are going to keep porters, not the vehicles for transfer, because we believe that people need. Since we are contributing to the communities, we are going to use the local porters who are going to get employment from the trip that we operate in those villages. So one porter will be assigned to two different trekkers, and they are going to carry your extra luggages that are going to have your down jackets and stuff like you are going to need for your night, extra clothings, if you have some flip-flops sort of things. So that's how we are going to make it pack free.
And
So I
are all
think
the ports local to all the mountain regions?
yes, they are from the same reason that we are going to.
Oh, amazing.
Much of a difference between the two different dates in terms of weather and seasons?
These are the dates that we have selected as the best times. Actually, if you see October, November, these they have similar kind of weather, obviously, and then March is going to be more warmer. So that's the only difference between the temperature. Otherwise, not much. And we have made sure that each of these dates have got some festival experiences in Nepal. Like if you see 23rd October's departure, you'll be experiencing the biggest festival in Nepal called Dasai. If you see the 7th November departure, then that is going to experience the light festival Tihar in Nepal. Then if you see the 21st March, then that's going to experience the Holi festival in Nepal. So we have a lot of festivals in Nepal, and we have selected the dates as per that as well, so that you don't miss at least one of them.
Amazing. Which one's your favorite?
Mine, actually all of them, but I especially love the October ones, the same. We meet a lot of, like, we have family gatherings. It's big as Christmas
Great.
happens.
Ring, it's Janine here. Just
Hi,
wondering when the rhododendrons are actually out. Is that in March?
Hi Janine, thanks for the question. Yes, the rhododendrons are out in March.
Yeah, because I've done the Annapurna Base Camp in October,
Oh,
so would maybe like to see some rhododendrons.
definitely.
Yeah.
That's March.
Yes, thank you.
Amazing. Are there lots?
A lot.
A lot. Amazing. That'll be
A
so
lot.
pretty.
So they're
Yes.
actually trees, not just bushes like we have here. They're trees.
Yes, there are
Wow.
big trees. You have a good experience from Annapurna Base Camp. When did you do that, Janine?
In 22.
Wow.
Okay.
And I had
So
8 days. I had 8 days off, and I did Everest Base Camp then.
Okay. You know how the stairs are, right?
Yes,
The
I
stair
do.
walks.
Yes,
Yes.
the 3,000 steps is more than 3,000 because I counted them.
Okay. Yes, that's actually right. That's right. It's really good. Amazing. And in March then.
Yes, I would love to go back. Yes.
Amazing.
That's amazing. I'll see you in Kathmandu then.
Well, any other questions, guys, before we wrap up? That's all good. Well, thank you guys so much for coming and taking this time out of your evening. And thank you, Naresh, for joining us. That was really informative. And if you guys have any more questions as well, feel free to email us, walks@lifesandadventure.com.au. We'll be sending you an email tomorrow, so you can always find the email or the phone number there if you have any more questions. But thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
All good.